Okay, so here's another update, I guess you can say, with Lori Loughlin and her entire situation. I just did one about Felicity Huffman, so now it's back to her. It's like a constant back and forth thing between these two right here with this college admissions scandal. But before I even get into her, if you see the guy right there behind her wearing the green tie, that's her husband, Massimo Giannulli. And you know, he has involvement in this as well. But anyway, it says Lori Loughlin and 15 others face new charges in college admissions scandal. As federal prosecutors on Tuesday brought new money laundering charges against 16 parents enmeshed in college admissions scandal, a question hung over the sprawling case. Would anybody implicated in the scam actually serve time behind bars? So that's a question that even lamestream media has. The same question many of us have. Will they actually serve any time behind bars? If they had to put a poll out and everyone was able to get access to that poll, most people would probably say no. The Hollywood actress Lori Loughlin and her husband, the designer Massimo Giannulli, were among those indicted on account of conspiracy to commit fraud and another of money laundering conspiracy, raising the legal stakes for parents who have not said whether they would plead guilty in the case. But it was a wide open question. Legal experts and former prosecutors said as to what price celebrities, business executives, and other bold-faced names may end up paying if they are convicted in the largest ever admissions prosecution. This is somewhat uncharted waters because this is a really unique case. We haven't seen a case where dozens of parents are being hauled off into court before, said Bradley Simon, a former federal prosecutor who now leads the white-collar defense practice at Phillips Nizer, a law firm based in New York. Prosecutors have charged a total of 50 people, including the college consultant at the center of the scandal, William Singer, who has already pled guilty to racketeering and other charges. 33 parents are accused of paying Mr. Singer to arrange for cheating on entrance exams or conspiring with him to bribe coaches or athletic officials to get their children, I should say dumb children, admitted to college as recruits to sports teams on the basis of fake credentials. On Monday, prosecutors said that 13 of the parents, including actress Felicity Huffman, would plead guilty. In all but one case, those parents would plead guilty to a single count of conspiracy to commit mail fraud and honest service mail fraud. Then on Tuesday came indictments, including new counts against many of the parents who had not announced plans to enter guilty pleas. Vasily Tamadakis, a former assistant United States attorney in the District of Massachusetts, said Mr. Singer would almost certainly be sent to prison for some period of time, even though he has cooperated with the investigation, including making recorded phone calls to parents at investigators' request. Mr. Tamadakis said it was also likely that any coaches or administrators who were convicted would face prison time, perhaps for a matter of months or a few years. Less clear, it seemed, was what might happen to any parents convicted in the case. Former prosecutors said that might depend on an array of matters. How much did the parents spend on the scheme to get their child into college? Did they opt to plead guilty? Did they fight the charges through a trial but get convicted anyway? Did they cooperate with authorities? For folks who have these kind of bigger payments that you see in the indictment, I think they certainly face some prison time, especially if they take the case to trial and lose. Mr. Tamadakis said that prosecutors are likely to argue that a sentence of some prison time is necessary to dissuade other parents eager to do anything to help their children to get into college from engaging in similar behavior. If convicted, those accused of paying some of the largest sum, some families are accused of paying as much as $500,000 in bribes to get their children into schools, might be penalized most harshly. In this case, that would be Lori Loughlin and her husband. Courtney Oliva, executive director of the Center of the Administration of Criminal Law at New York University and a former federal prosecutor, said that Ms. Huffman, who apologized this week for her role in the case and says she would plead guilty, most likely faces a short prison sentence or might avoid prison time altogether. Are we really surprised about that? Serving most or all of the penalty through a home confinement or probation. Ms. Huffman acknowledged having paid Mr. Singer $15,000 to arrange for cheating on her daughter's SAT exam. I personally think it would be crazy to send her to prison, Ms. Oliva said. Mr. Simon, the former federal prosecutor, noted that Ms. Huffman and Gordon Kaplan, another parent who has said he would plead guilty, each issued long statements expressing remorse. Now, what did I tell y'all in that video about Felicity Huffman pleading guilty? I said if she pled guilty, 9 times out of 10, they would give her some sort of a plea deal. And what you're listening to right here is pretty much that. Those were long and seemingly sincere statements of contrition, Mr. Simon said. If I were a judge, that would go a long way to ensure they don't get any time in jail. I bet it would. On the other hand, Mr. Simon said intense publicity around the case could create pressure to impose some prison time. Judges and prosecutors are always very sensitive to the court of public opinion in determining what sentences they get. I can't argue with that one. They will feel some pressure to send a message. A lot of people are really horrified by this. It undermines the system. It smacks of breathtaking self-entitlement. Lawyers for defendants pleading guilty may argue that the harm their clients have suffered to their reputations and the professional and other consequences of pleading guilty to a felony provide enough of a deterrent. Representatives for some parents have said that they intend to fight the charges and are eagerly awaiting their chance to give their side of their story in court. Among the parents indicted on Tuesday was William McGlashan, a major Silicon Valley investor who was accused of paying Mr. Singer $50,000 for cheating on his son's ACT and agreeing to pay $250,000 to get his son admitted to the University of Southern California as a football recruit. Although prosecutors say Mr. McGlashan did not ultimately go through with that scheme. The prosecutor case against Mr. McGlashan is deeply flawed and ignores important exculpatory facts. We look forward to presenting his side of the story. David Schumacher, who represents Gregory and Amy Colburn, parents who are accused of arranging for cheating on the SAT, said that his clients were innocent of the charges. They're looking forward to asserting their rights under the Constitution and under the federal rules to a speedy trial so they can clear their good names, Mr. Schumacher said. Now, it's amazing how this article was titled to be framed around Lori Loughlin, but it really talked about her briefly, but then it went and branched off into other people, and it even mentioned names that we weren't hearing throughout the media. But I recognize the name because, I went through all of those names last month. Now, it's so funny because wasn't it Olivia Jade, who is the daughter to Lori Loughlin, who said she wanted this to go away and hope that this only lasted a week? I said that this ain't gonna last no week. And a lot of people, believe it or not, even some of my own subscribers said, oh, this is gonna be here for about a week and it's gonna go away. We are about a month into this thing. If it's not a month, we're damn near close to a month of them talking about it. So, shocked to many people's surprise, it's still being talked about, even with everything else that's going on in the media. I said last month when this first got exposed, I said I want this to stay in the news as much as possible. I just don't want them to turn this into a whole media circus thing and, to glamorize everything. But, with mainstream media, that's probably what it will turn into eventually. Now, I was actually able to look at a news clip from ABC News, and it was showing Lori Loughlin, walking into court, and literally it's almost like a media circus for her. Every time she goes into court, she's always smiling, like you see in this picture right here. It looked like she does not have any remorse for what she did. She has people out there standing out there saying hi to her as if she's on a red carpet. She is even walking up to people, and this happened last week. She was even walking up to people signing autographs. Literally. I'll leave the link to the clip down in the description and you can see for yourself from the ABC News YouTube channel. So she's treating this as if this is some type of publicity stunt for her, which for her, because she's an actress, it probably is for her. But if she gets the prison time that she deserves, not saying she's going to get, but she actually deserves it, both her and her husband, it won't be a laughing matter. And this thing has been out for about almost a month now, and we have yet to see not one mugshot of anybody involved. Not just Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin, but we haven't seen a mugshot for the ringleader, William Singer, at least. or any other person that was involved. Now, I think Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman were like the only two, and also William Singer were like the only three, I should say, that were actually arrested. So when you are arrested and you're arraigned on something, don't you usually get a mugshot? We have yet to see a mugshot for any of them. But we got a mugshot for Jussie Smollett. We got a mugshot for R. Kelly. We got one for Bill Cosby. And I'm talking about when all of this stuff first went down with each of them. But none for them. That's going to linger in people's mind that the fix is in. Like, you don't have not one mugshot. And then if you ask them for a mugshot, they'll either dodge the question altogether or they'll say they have it, they just didn't make it publicized. Which pretty much both of them are lies. They never took one. Because if they did, it would be out there for public consumption. But that's really all I have as far as this goes right here. I'm sure there will be more updates to come because this story doesn't seem like it's going anywhere anytime soon, nor do we really want it to. But y'all let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next one.